Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome to the market close for April 23rd. 23rd. Holy banana bread. We're this month is almost over. It is good to be back. It is good to be back. Of course, Sunday show was canceled due to some illness. Oh, I don't like being sick. Don't like being sick. Only cost me a day. Well, technically Saturday. I was kind of grungy on a Saturday as well. But you guys missed. I made some cool pictures for well for Sunday, and we're not. Some of them won't get to be used anymore. Like this classic right here, Donald Trump in a bunny costume. Did you ever think you were going to see that? Now some of the others I made will probably get used, but as you guys know, the program I've been using to make my pictures, it has it's made the beavers a lot less cute, and I haven't been able to fix that yet. So I'm kind of moving away from the beavers, moving more towards, well, stuff like this. Stuff like this. This is what you missed. This is what you missed. But anyway, this is not this week. This is market close. So we'll we'll get rid of Bunny Trump for the moment, and well, let's hit the market. Let's hit the market. Let's see what's going on. We have a green day. Fantastic green. Love it. It's kind of interesting. We're almost at a green month. Believe it or not. This month may end in the green. As you can see, we're not that far below the blue line. So for the day, we are up 0.69% on the TSX so far, but now there's still 15 minutes to go. So maybe we can get up a little bit higher, depending on how the day is going to end. Looking south of the border at the S&P 500, they've got a little bit more room to cover if they want to get into a green month, but they're having a good day, up 1.35%. Well, look at that. It's already 1.37%. And NASDAQ really having a good day. They're up 2.28%. So as you can see, they're getting pretty darn close. The Dow Jones, kind of a little more, it's an okay day. It's up 0.87%. But they're quite a ways away from the blue line. And oh boy, the Russell's not having a good day. The Russell is down 0.93%. Now, looking at gold. Oh boy, gold is retracted. It's down 2.54%, but gold's been having a fantastic run up until, well, here's the thing. As the market was suffering, everybody was piling into gold. Now those same people are piling out of gold as the market's doing a little bit better. So you could almost say red market, green market. You can see it's like a mountain or a shark fin, something like that. But nonetheless, poor gold. Silver though, silver on the other hand is up 3.73%. WTI today, West Texas Intermediate, it is down. It's down 1.85%. Bitcoin kind of up 0.02%, so fairly flat. Ethereum, same thing, up a wee bit. Switching to our heat map, got a few different things going on here. CSU, so Constellation Software, having a good day, up 3.36%. Fairfax Financial, Manulife Financial. We're getting a few companies up. There's a few companies down though as well. Like Loblaws. Loblaws is down. Alimentation Couche-Tard, they're down a little bit too, 0.12. Both railroads are up. The banks, for the most part, most of the banks are up. I don't think there's any bank that's down, actually. Yeah, they're all up. Gotta love it. Looking south of the border, good day for tech. We got green across the Magnificent Seven. Look at that. NVIDIA up 3.41. Amazon up 4.39. Tesla up 5.71. And they have their earnings. Their earnings call was, I was saying over on the Discord, I was like, well, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it was still pretty bad. Elon has indicated that going forward, he's going to start stepping back a little bit more from that Doge, from the Doge team down there in the States. That's probably a good thing for Tesla. Um, yeah, yeah, it's and we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on down there because obviously the green that we're experiencing right now, well, it all has to do with a couple of things. Well, actually, three things: Trump, Powell, and China. So we're going to get to that probably right after the bell. All right. Looking at crypto, and I'm going to refresh this because that I don't think, yeah, apparently 2.32% up for Bitcoin. Ethereum looking strong, up 5.32. Solana 3.81. Solana's been on a tear. Anybody who has bought some of the ETFs, some of the Solana spot ETFs that dropped last week, you've made some profits. You have made some profits. They are. It has done well. It has done well thus far. So that's not too shabby at all. Of course, there's about 15,000 or more altcoins out there. Most of them are what I call crap coins because I don't know what they do. I don't know anything about them. I like to just pick a random one that I probably have never heard of. Moonchain. I don't know what Moonchain is. Obviously, looking at its price, it's not even worth a penny. So that's as far away from the moon as I think you can get. But hey, if you know what Moonchain is, and if you're a big fan of Moonchain, I apologize. I apologize for not for disliking it. I apologize that you're a fan of Moonchain. With these coins like this, quite honestly, guys, stay away from them. If you are going to play with some of these altcoins, do your homework, look at the white paper, make sure it has some kind of a function. If you want to dabble in crypto, stick with the big coins. Stick with your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, and even your Dogecoin, who look is up 3.72% today. All right, let's get back to the main room and check out the chat. We got Jonathan in. Am I late for a market Candace recovery? No, you are not late. You're not late at all. Stan Gray is in the house with a hello all, and we got Brian in the house. Paul is in with a good afternoon. We got Patricia with a hi. Paul says gold mean reversion. There we go. Rory says afternoon. And let's see, Paul says big 2 days for Tesla. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let me see here. Hi, Candace. I remember you saying that it's best to hold EIT in a registered account. Yet when I check Canoe's site, it shows it's 95.59% capital gains and 4.41% eligible dividends. Very interesting. I was actually looking at that today as well because the video dropping on Friday, the deep dive, tomorrow, the channel members will be able to see it. We're going back to Canoe. We're going back to Canoe. And I was looking at that. Yeah. And the reason that I talk about the registered account is that a lot of years, and let's just say years that are not as good for Canoe as the last year, 2024 was a fantastic year for Canoe. That's why they have such a huge amount in capital gains because they were exploding. Now, when they do not explode, so like if you were to go back even to 2023, 2022, you're going to find more return of capital. So, and that's the thing. You'll have some capital gains. You'll have return of capital. Depending on what their interest mix is, you could end up even with sort of what their asset mix is. You could even end up with some interest in there as well. So there are more things that you can sort of run into. Now, the other reason as well is with some of their special distributions, they can sometimes have impact as well on the adjusted cost base. So that is another reason that I like personally. I like to hold them in there. Now, last year, as I said, was kind of a bit of an oddity. Normally, Normally, they're not exploding that much, but they do pretty consistent. All right. Paul says, Sol.u up 18.5% since purchase April 16th at market open. Yeah, yeah. And here's the thing, and I saw some people saying online, I saw some people saying, oh, it's because of the Canadian spot ETFs. That's driving the price of Solana. And it might have an impact. It might have a small impact, but I mean, we're talking a worldwide market, and the amount of people buying it in Canada probably doesn't impact it as much as you might think. But nonetheless, why not? I mean, here's the thing: if I was big into crypto and I lived in the United States, I could be looking at those Canadian ETFs and saying, "Hey, here's my way to get it into my Roth IRA." So I could certainly see that. Larry says, my friend new to the market put 6K into 2X bull ETFs a week ago, dropped to 4K. Now it's 7K. It's their first time experiencing the fear. They were freaking out for a week. Yeah. Yeah. And we talk about this almost every live stream. But when you're looking at some of these leveraged funds, you've got to be prepared. It's going to move. It's going to move fast. It's going to move up. You'll make a ton of money and you'll lose a ton of money. So, and I guess the difference is now when your friend dropped from 6K to 4K, if they would have just sold out and said, I'm just taking my loss and I'm running away from investing. And some people would take an experience like that and say, yeah, that's what I'm doing. But in this case, it sounds like you talked your friend down, and now they got up to 7K. So that's good. That's really, really good. And you got to be careful. You got to have a plan, because when you start playing with some of these leveraged ones, you really, really, really want to have a plan. All right, Meowie says, hit the like, folks. Yeah, absolutely. Hit the like button. I'm gonna have some coffee here. By the way, there's no buy the dip today. That's for sure. Unless it's an inverse dip. I'll put that in there. Paul says there are other companies buying Solana for balance sheet, like Strategy is for Bitcoin. Yeah, I would not be surprised. And I really like Solana. One of the reasons is that if you think about Ethereum, with Ethereum, you can build a lot of things on the Ethereum blockchain, but when you do it, you're paying a lot for the gas fees. So the fees of trading Ethereum are pretty darn high. Now Solana, they don't have super high gas fees, so as a result, it's a base that people have started building stuff on, and it's pretty versatile. So yeah, for that reason, I think Solana really has a strong future. So I like that ETF quite a bit. Larry, they were like, where'd my money go? Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, the truth of the matter, when you're investing, anytime you lose money, it's basically going into somebody else's pocket. Anytime you earn money, you're taking it from somebody's pocket. So, it's just the way the money moves. It's the way the money moves, that's for sure. Serves them right. Paul says, Sol Strategy secured landmark USD 500 million convertible note facility with ATW partners to expand Sol holdings. Interesting. That could be huge for them. That could be. I was almost distracted from the time. I just took a glance. So we have about 1 minute before the bell. So at the bell, I ring a bell. It's loud. So if you have headphones on and you're not a fan of loud noises, once we get, and I'll give you about a 10-second warning. Once we get there, just pull your headphones out or turn the volume down or stuff like that. I don't want to hurt anybody's ears. All right. Moonlight said, so I started investing for the first time ever around mid-February. It's been a crazy 2 months. Absolutely. And this is, you're that person, not you in particular, but people in that situation are, it's always scary because when you're coming into a crazy market like this, it can be scary. And with some of the things that have happened, some of the reds, some of the big massive dips that we have seen, all of course thanks to Trump and his tariffs, um, they can scare you away, make you maybe not want to. Guys, we got about 5 seconds to the bell. It's coming. So here's your last warning. All right. All right. Market's closed. All right. Love it. Market is closed. Woohoo. But yeah, back to what I was saying with Moonlight. It can be a little bit scary. Now, beautifully, if you're coming into investing and at least, you've experienced, well, like a channel like this, or, or there's probably a bunch of different good channels on YouTube. It can give you at least a little bit of a general idea. So you're not sort of getting into that situation where, you buy your first stock and it goes down immediately and you're like, oh my God, what's going on? And then the whole FUD, so fear, uncertainty, and doubt comes in. That's not good. That's not good at all. So what I always say is, one of the things I love about this community in particular, is that there's a lot of people you can get in contact with pretty much almost any time. So through the Discord, or the Facebook group. I think the Discord's busier, and there's links to those all down below, all the videos. There's like, I think, I'll give you an example. I think Paul lives on the Discord. I think he has a hut in the back in behind the chat. But yeah, that you can always get in there and sort of say, look, guys, I'm thinking about doing something stupid. I'm feeling really bad or nervous. And yeah, you can get answers fairly quickly. What I always say, and if you want an answer directly from me over on the Discord, put me in the comment. So, whatever what is it? Candace Mountain, at Candace Mountain, or whatever. Put that in, or at Mountain Finance. Put that in the thing, because then I'll actually get a little thing on my my phone. Actually, on my watch, I'll get a notification as well. I may not get to it immediately because maybe I'm outside or maybe I'm away from the computer. But as soon as I get back to the computer, I try to get in there and answer those ones right away. I may not catch ones if it's not directed to me, but if it's directed to me, I try to be as good as I can to get back to them for sure. All right. Vic says, feeling better. Yes, absolutely. It's a funny thing. It seems like, so Jill had a little bit of minor eye surgery last week. And anytime you have minor surgery, somebody has to be there to take you home. So every time it seems though that I show up at the Ottawa hospital and, if some just sitting around the waiting area, I seem to always catch something. Let's see, I think I've caught the flu there once. And this time, I don't even know what it was. It was more or less, it was just a kind of crazy headache, tired thing. So luckily it wasn't that bad. I mean, it kind of hit me on Saturday, and I tried to sleep it off Saturday night into Sunday. But it was just like, by lunchtime Sunday, I'm like, yeah, I can't concentrate. There's no way I'm going to be able to do the live stream. And that's why you missed some classic images I made for the live stream, like Donald Trump in a bunny suit. There we go. I just had to show that one more time because those of you who missed that at the beginning, yeah, that's kind of fun. Actually, there was another one I made too that I really was kind of proud of. This one, but you'll probably see this one again. This is Tiff Macklin. The story was basically about the rate, the lack of a rate cut, the fact that he paused because he couldn't see anything. So I made an image of Tiff Macklin looking around in the fog. So I was kind of happy with that one. All right, let's get back. Let's get back to the regular show. The regular show, of course. But yeah, no, I am feeling much better. Rory says Trump's just flying by the seat of his pants. Yeah. Now, here's why here's basically there's two reasons the market is green right now. They're both related to Trump. One is he has backed off on his insistence that he's going to fire Powell. He's actually took a step backwards. Some of his advisors actually said, if you even try to do that, it would be worse for the market than the tariffs already are. So Trump has, and Trump actually said, I think it was yesterday or the day before, he came out and said, I'm not going to be firing Powell. So the market liked that. Now, the other thing the market likes is he has indicated that there's a possibility of making a deal with China over all of these tariffs, and that the tariff that the China is probably going to have soon is going to be significantly lower than where they're at right now. So, and China's like, yeah, we're absolutely ready to make a deal with you, and that's going to be a good thing. That's going to be a good thing. So that has helped the market as well, and it's gotten a little bit of calmness back and a little bit of green in there, so you can see your, hopefully see your stuff climbing a bit again. But those, people who've been playing this up and down, are probably making some, I know Larry's made a killing. Larry has made a killing. Now he's managing a whole bunch of people's money. So, he's got all that extra resources for that reason, but he's doing a good job for sure. And Brian says, speaking of Larry, he says, if Trump canned Powell, the world finance market would totally fall apart. The U.S. would lose their dollar as the world currency. It wouldn't be good. Let's just say you would have a very, very good buy the dip opportunity. But no, Trump needs to sort of step back from that, because Powell's already said he's not going to, if Trump asks him to step down, he's not going to. And there needs to be a separation between the government and the monetary, and the monetary center with the Fed. So that needs to be separate, because it's kind of important. It's kind of important to keep those separate. Moonlight. Let's see. I bought one of the dips, but had no money to buy during Liberation Day. Yeah, and that happens. And this is the thing. As you get better at investing, you start to sort of get to a point where you're like, okay, I kind of understand what a cash position is all about now. And at that point, you start to create a situation where you do have cash saved for days like that. And we're going to talk more about all of this as we're moving along, of course. Moonlight once again says, you've been a lifesaver. Oh, thank you. And for some reason my head flashed. Don't ask me why. But do you remember them lifesaver books you used to get at the Christmas? Basically, back in my school days, you'd almost always end up getting gift exchanges, and you almost always would end up getting one of them books of lifesavers. But yeah, anyway, that popped into my head. The Nightbot's back, talking about Friday. Yeah, exactly. If you guys want to stream on Friday, 4 supers or gifted memberships, blah, blah, blah. Nightbot explained it. I don't need to. All right. Derek says SLXN only up 40% or so today. SLXN NASDAQ is a total gem at 5 million market cap. Republic of Southern Ontario. We got it. We have less than a week to the election, by the way. Less than a week. I still support Candace from time to time. I don't hate all Laurentian Canadians. All right. Well, technically, I'm a blue noser, so I'm from Nova Scotia. So, I don't know what is that, like the Republic of Fish? I don't know. Moonlight throws in love for Canada. Love it. Cowboy says, afternoon all, glad you are feeling better. Me too. I do not. I am not a fan of being sick, but then again, who is, right? Who is a fan? Larry says, Trump can't fire Powell though, and Powell won't step down. Yeah, exactly. And guys, let's put this in here. There we go. We get a super coming in from Paul, and that means that Paul is our GOAT. Gotta love it. Thank you, Paul. All right. Now, That does put us one towards a Friday show. So three more, and we are there, folks. All right. Isaac says, I've been sitting low with some cash, waiting to see which way the market may go, but I'm deep on the red with what I got. Yeah. And that's the thing. And guys, I always talk about, even though I talk about buy the dip, even though I talk about having a cash position, the number one way to make money on the market, and this has historically been proven, is dollar cost averaging. So dollar cost averaging is the best way to go, because what happens is, let's say you were hoping not to buy at the lowest point in April. Well, you've probably missed it. You've probably already missed it, and that's what happens, right? You think, okay, yeah, Trump's he's gonna screw the market more. He's gonna screw it more. He's gonna keep doing it. But he doesn't, right? He's back to back. He's backed up a bit. The market's loving it, and we're getting some green. So you could have missed that date. But if you were dollar cost averaging, you would have been buying every week. You probably would have hit some of the really, really great deals in there. And you're also hitting the not so great deals, but you're getting a fair value right across the board. That's one of the reasons that it works really well, because that person who is hoping, waiting for that perfect moment, when they realize they've totally missed it, and they're like, well, I might as well just buy it where it's at now. So they don't have any of the lows. They end up paying higher than that one person who is just buying, dollar cost averaging along the way. So nothing. There's nothing like it, really. Brian says, like Trump really cares what he can and cannot do. Yeah. Well, with Trump, though, you got to look at it this way too. He says what he's doing to the market is for the good of everybody, but at the same time, I think it eats him up a little bit too, because just with his ego, he wants to be that president who has the best market, who makes the most money, who does everything. So his ego does factor in quite a bit. So what can we say? Mario says, Larry is well off. Good job, Larry. There we go. Rory says, Larry has his own money printing machine. Larry. No, we should have the Republic of Larry, maybe. Let's see. Larry says, I'm not well off at all. Like my cash. My literal cash is like $2,000. I don't have any assets, just stock in my holding company. Yeah, okay. And that's true. I mean, sometimes you can be managing a whole bunch of other people's money. And it may make you feel like you're very rich, but you have to sort of look at what is actually yours in the end. And let's see. Paul says, stock quote screen question. Volume 1.92K, average volume 10.25K. Then this shares 125K. Then last trade time. What does shares 125K mean if volume was only 1.92K? All right. I almost feel like I need to see the screen. Do me a favor, Paul. Take a screenshot of that and throw it over on the Discord. And I'll take a look at that a little bit later. I'm not 100% sure what I'm thinking. I don't know if we're talking about outstanding shares. I'd have to actually look at the company and sort of get an idea of what's going on there. Cowboy says, Trump, the king of bankruptcy. When you cause a casino to go broke, Trump did this. How many casinos? That's a good question. I honestly don't know how many, but I know there was that. I think the Atlantic City one went bankrupt. Larry says, I literally own a tablet, phone, laptop, 10 sets of clothes, a backpack, and shares in my company. I rent a room in someone else's house. Oh, there we go. All right, everybody. We painted Larry up as being this guy with a limo and everything else. But what can I say? Harold says, I see Harvest announced distribution for their enhanced shares. Palantir and MicroStrategy up, Tesla down, most unchanged. Nice. Let's see. I got to survive like the rest of us. Yeah, absolutely. Paul says, I have relatives in Windsor. They say, how dare you on Facebook when I say I am not voting liberal? Okay. Yeah. Now, did any of you guys get out and do the advance polls on the weekend? Now, I did vote by mail. So I voted weeks and weeks ago, but just curious to know, did any of you do the advance polls? And if you did, how busy was your poll? How busy? That's what I want to know. Trump nominated Powell to this position. Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, keep in mind, um, Trump has a history of firing people he has nominated, and rumors now are that maybe Hegseth might be up next when it comes to getting fired. Him and his signal chat has created a lot of a lot of chaos, a lot of chaos. Rory says, I was kicked off Facebook on a 180-day suspension. What did you do, Rory? um, yeah, I've never booted off. I've known people who've been booted off. Most of those people were booted off for things they said, but yikes. Larry says, Rory, all my money goes to buying shares in my own company after my first 1.5 million shares bought at a very small amount. Every share after I buy for 55 cents like everyone else. Okay, nice. You see, I like Tesla. You have to keep what a low price is and then buy like 220 to 225. Let's see. I see Larry. Hope it goes well. Larry says, I drive a 6K used Nissan Altima with 168,000 miles with the bumper half off. Yikes. Yeah, Larry needs a new car, folks. Larry needs a new car. What's your DCA rule? All right. So what I do is, you know what? It's time. It is time for my, oops. Let's get out of the heat map here. I was just seeing if I have it open. Do I have it? I don't think I have it open. I don't think I have it open. All right. I will, let's open it one. I thought I had the whiteboard up already. Oh, I want Canva, not Canvas. There we go. Canva. And I'm going to go to a whiteboard, not a website. Whiteboard. Here we go. All right, Moonlight. So here is what I do. Now I'm going to go down to my tools. This way here we can do, we'll draw. I like to draw. All right, I'm going to go with this one here. I'm just going to do purple for the moment. So let's just come over here. All right. All right. So this is a typical market movement. So, and keep in mind, this is like a long-term chart. And I'll even do this. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, there we go. We'll just do, give me this line here. I'm going to drop a line in here and just sort of say, there you go. Can I think I can. I think I got two there now. Yeah, there we go. We got two. And there we go. We're making a graph. This is kind of fun. All right, but this is just your typical movement of the overall market. So this, of course, we're going up. This is a bull market, bear market, bull market, bear market, bull market. And that's basically what happens. It goes back and forth, back and forth. Now, what I like to do is, and I'm going to go with, we'll go with orange. So what I like to do is all right, as I'm going along, I will dollar cost average. So, and I'm paying more and more every single time. But as I'm doing this, and this is what I've mentioned before. I mentioned a cash position. So I'm going to put, let's just say and and cash. So when I'm at the very beginning, like we've just come out of a bear market. We're starting to move in, and usually I won't even know, probably until about here. I won't even know that we're in here. So at this point here, what I am doing is I will begin doing a cash position. So for example, I'm probably investing 99%, and I might be putting 1% into cash. So for example, I may put it into a cash ETF. So something like T-Cash or PSA, or, there's so many different ways that you can do it. And as I move along, yeah, I'm doing that. I'm doing that. Now, as we get deeper in, well, at that point, I sort of start to think, okay, I'll just put my IC over here. I will say, okay, maybe it's time to start, putting a little more. So I might just invest 98% and put my 2%. So we'll just keep doing it that way. And as we get deeper and deeper, things will start changing fast. So all of a sudden it might be, maybe 95% I'll invest, 5% will go into cash. And if this gets to be really long, I could get to a point where I'm at like 90-10. 90% is invested, 10% is going into my cash position. So once we start falling, now I won't know, like even at the beginning of this falling, I'm probably still doing that. But once we get to a point that we actually slip into a bear market, meaning that if you take that point right there and you drop it by 25%, that is where, that's where we are technically entering into bear market territory. So that's where I will start to look, and I will flip this. So at that point, let's just say I have, I've got 100% of my cash position. We'll move it down here. At that point, I'm going to start, and once again, I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to do the opposite. So I will still be investing, like all of this, whatever's coming in, that's still happening. But I'm going to start taking that money there, and I'm going to start, maybe I will, maybe I'll do, maybe I'll do like, maybe I'll do 2.5% every week, and I'll start taking 2.5% of whatever that is, whatever that value be, and I will start buying things that are down there. Now, with that being said, let's go into, all right. Now, it's not a straight, you will have, as you going, so this is a little bit closer of a look at that bear market. So even as you're in a bear market, you're going to have big moments, and you're also going to have, you'll have, moments where you get these dips as well, like this. So when I'm dollar cost averaging through here, I probably should have used let's just use a different color for it this time. We'll go with purple, or it's a blue. So as I am dollar cost averaging through here, one of the things I do like to do is when we do have moments like this, if I've got a little bit of extra cash put away, and this is kind of where this will come in, like, I'll pull it out of here, but I don't mind pulling a bit extra out. So let's say, for example, I'm with my cash position, let's say I'm doing 2.5% each week. And all of a sudden, I have a week coming up, and we got a massive dip happening. I'm probably going to double this, or maybe I'll even take it up to a 10%, depending on how big the dip is. But I will use a little bit extra on that. Now, mind you, this is just coming out of here. Now, while that's all happening, I'm still doing this other part. So the invest and the cash, that's still happening. So let's say whatever I'm adding, I'm still going to be, buying with that. So I might still, let's just say I settled at a 90-10. So 90% of new money coming into the system, I'm still investing it, and I'll probably just add it into the dip. So this might be 2.5 plus Let's say it's a weekly amount. So if this I'm doing this weekly, and let's say I had an extra $100 every week. Just use that to be easy. That might be added into that as well. But that 10%. So if it was 100, then I guess that would be 90 going into that, and the other $10 would be going every week would be going into this. So I still have money coming into this, even though it's for the most part moving out. But once, as that's happening, once we do get, we start coming along here and we start coming out, I still at that point don't know. But once I do know that we have moved, so basically, when I look at this point, if we have risen 25%, then we are at that point we're officially at that point out of the bear market. And some people will argue and say, yeah, we've been out of the bear market from here because that's where it bottomed. But technically, you need to be 25% from the low to be out of the bear market. So at this point, I will then flip that switch. So no longer will this be going into dollar cost averaging. It's going to be I'm going to start adding it up. We're going at this point. Whoops, this is going all the way back to here. So the 99.1. So that's, we've started that whole process over again. My regular investing will be dollar cost averaging as well. So the regular amount, so that 99 at that point will be going in every week into things. And then I'll do this whole process over again until we get to the next bear market. But by doing it this way, if when things hit the fan, you got that cash put aside. It's there. It's waiting to buy the dip. All right. Anyway, what a tangent. Whew. All right. Let's go back to big screen for a moment. I'm always relieved. Like I know I was looking at the whiteboard for a bit, and I when I look back at the screen, I'm like, oh yeah. I'm always worried. What if I was not showing the whiteboard? Can you imagine if I did that whole thing and the whiteboard wasn't being shared? Oh, Rory says, weird. I have a Nissan Versa with 150,000 miles or kilometers. I don't know. I know it was miles on Larry's because Larry's in the US. And the pins on the driver's side are broken. Let's see. Worry. Lots of people have no extra money after paying for everything. 3 casinos. Holy banana bread. Let's see, rent-free in Ma's basements. Are you really still rent-free? Nice. Still single, but you've made a lot of huge improvements in your life in the last year and a bit. David says, I get the impression there's a lot of TDs in this room, but it's common in Canada. TDs or TDS. All right. Oh, and the Nightbot again. Oh, and speaking of the Nightbot, I notice here we got our second super coming in here from Roku in Stittsville, $2 super. Roku is now the GOAT. So thank you. So that puts us 2 away from a Friday show. The fun. Oh, and speaking of, not the Friday show, but tomorrow night, we have an exclusive live stream for the channel members. So, this one is going to be a free for all. So in other words, what that means is bring your questions. We'll talk about everything. I'll come up with a few different topics to bring, to get us all going. But just bring whatever you want. Quiz me. We'll use the what? Well, you do whatever. We'll do whatever you guys want. So that will be fun. The other thing, while we're on that, I did put a community post out there today. So next week, actually, I think it's on the 29th. So I think Tuesday's video is the channel members' choice video. So what that means is you guys give me your best video ideas. You just drop them in the comments of that. And heck, even if you want to drop video ideas in the comments of this live stream, I'll pull them all together. And then the top 4. And how we determine what the top 4 are is if you go in and you leave a comment and you notice a couple comments that you really like, you're like, oh, I like this idea. just thumb it up. Thumb it up. I always take the ones with the most thumbs. So I take the top 4. I take them to the channel members, and the channel members vote. They're like, yeah, this is the one we want. And then I make that video. So it can be anything. It can be a deep dive. It can be a list video, or maybe you want a tutorial on something. I don't care. Let's get it done. Those are always fun. Those are always fun. Yeah. And also coming up, the video after that, 0 to 100K challenge. You guys want it back to a monthly schedule. So it is back. It is back. All right. All right. Let's see here. Oh, wait a minute. We've already been here. I was looking, I was like, I saw that. All right. I think somehow I fell backwards. All right. Where were we at here? Let's see here. I think I know. I think I know what happened. All right. Give me a second here. Somehow I ended up. All right, there we go. I think we're at the right place now. All right, here we go. Harold says, didn't advance vote, but polls had long lines. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I saw some of it on the news, some of the big lines out there. Now, that's definitely interesting. It's actually interesting. I haven't even looked at the polls today. I've just been like, we're getting close. We're getting close. Brian says, I actually want to wait for voting day. It's actually at my high school that I haven't been into for years. Oh, cool. Yeah. And that's what I was thinking. I'm like, it's like, I voted 2 weeks ago. What if all of a sudden there was a giant scandal and it's like, no, I want to change my vote. It'd be too late. It would be too late. David voted already for Pierre Polyev. Very good. Rory says there was no reason why I was booted off Facebook. I suspect AI. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes. It's kind of a weird world. Like, a lot of AI does all of the filtering, and it can just it finds something in its algorithm it doesn't like. It's like, and then you got no recourse against it. It's one of the downsides of AI for sure. Let's see. Patricia says, yes, I voted Friday. My poll line was not busy. Others were. Okay. All right. Not too shabby. Paul says, we voted on Friday. The line was long, but working would go through the line, ask for the box number and letter of last name. We were done in 15 minutes. Nice. Rory voted on Monday. There we go. Let's see. Trump speaks at 5 p.m. today. Uh-oh. I'm hoping it's good news. If he, imagine at 5 p.m. if he were to speak about China and saying, we're gonna roll some of these tariffs back. Oh, it'll be a very green day tomorrow if that happens. Let's see. Larry says, I like Trump, just not everything he does, and nobody should. He does a lot of bad and good things. It's probably true of most politicians for sure. Paul says, a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. When the TFSA is worth your non-mortgage debt, do you sell and pay off? Not yet, but getting there. Understandable. Let's see. At LS, I agree, but I think he has a lot better choice than KH, as is PP over MC. A lot of letters. Larry says, David, yes, way better than the Dems. Moonlight says, so do we need to be 25% higher than the April 7, 9th lows to be officially back in a bull market? Or was that a ridiculous low? We're not, as far as I know, we got really close to getting into a bear market, but we're not in a bear market. We're not in a bear. We're heading there. We probably will be in one, especially in Canada. I do expect to see a bear market as well. Even if Trump were to completely back off the tariffs, I don't know. I think there's a lot of damage that's been done, but no, we're not technically in a bear market yet. We're not there yet. Don't worry. We'll talk. I'll jump on it. I'll jump on it when we get there for sure. Philly, did you talk about today's Rogers earnings report yet? I have not had a chance to look at today's Rogers report. So, no, I have not talked about it. Let's see. Cowboy says, it makes me nervous when Trump speaks. You never know which Trump is speaking. I like personality number 8. It doesn't want global domination. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Paul says, okay, put the question screenshot about the shares 1K in the Discord channel. And is the volume all exchanges or just Quest Trade? Okay, okay. I will take a look. I will take a look at it. Moonlight says portfolio reviews would be cool. Well, you're in luck. You're in luck. If you want a portfolio review, a free portfolio review, all you gotta do is follow me on. I was gonna say Discord. No, follow me on Blossom. So and let me grab a link here for you. Let me grab a Blossom link. All right, just a second here. Take me 2 seconds to grab it. I'll drop it right here into the chat. Here we go. Oops. Let's just grab the link. All right. So there we go. I just dropped the Blossom link. So yeah, follow me on Blossom. Now you have 2 options on Blossom. Blossom, you can hook up your portfolio to Blossom, and it will bring it over. If you are, and some people are like, I don't want to do that. I'm worried about the security. The security is fine, but if you're worried about it, that's fine. You can always manually enter in your portfolio. But by doing that, and then once you're over there, follow me, give me a message. So that way there I have you, and we'll pull it up right here. We'll pull it up right here. And I'll show you how we will do it. I'll show you how we'll do it. Blossom has, this is their social media, their desktop app. It's still technically in beta. Everything is not working here, but everything I need to do a portfolio review is working. So I normally will do those on Sunday. So yeah, hook up with me on Blossom. Let me know. If you're not sure how to get things working over there, just let me know. I can give you some more information, all of that fun stuff. But how it would work is, well, let's click on, we'll click on me. Now, this here, you'll see the portfolio, and this is all I'm going to see. I'm going to see percentages like this. So I will know, well, look at this. The biggest position in my portfolio right now is T-Cash at 7.8%. This, by the way, this is the cash position. It's finally moved up to the biggest. Now, I have already updated this, guys. This is already updated for this. Oh my God, Moonlight. I really apologize. I I just read your super without giving you proper credence here. You are the GOAT, by the way. I don't think I've ever done that before. I got so excited about the Blossom part, so I was just like, yeah. But yeah, so, and that's the thing. I can come in, I can look at all of your stocks, and the reason I always, and this is the reason I ask to see it on Blossom, like have you message me on Blossom, because that way there I can come in and look at it. Because sometimes somebody might have something in there that I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't know what that is. If I don't know what it is, it's hard for me to give you some feedback on something. But at least if I have it ahead of time, if there's a stock I'm unfamiliar with, I can at least look it up and just scrape a little bit of their data to take a look. So yeah, that's the best way to do it. So yeah, those are portfolio reviews. They're like I said, absolutely free. You just gotta sign up on Blossom and message me over there, and we'll use Blossom to do that. So yeah, for sure. All right, and by the way, that was our 3rd super. So we're one away. We're one away, Nightbot. We're one away from a Friday show. I don't know what it is. I want to just be mean to Nightbot. I shouldn't be. The Nightbot is nice. Nightbot's awesome. All right. Paul says almost 8 million voted in early voting. April 28th should be busy. Yeah. This is predicted to have one of the largest turnouts. And it's not just that. Another big prediction on this, and all right, let's go to the polls. Let's go to the polls because I needed to. Whoops, I needed to illustrate. Poll tracker here. Let's see. April 22nd. Oh, that's yesterday. Let's update it to today. Ooh, look at that. The Liberals fell a little bit. They fell point 4. But anyway, I'm not even worried about that. This is kind of the whole thing I'm looking at here. So you can see between the Conservatives and the Liberals way up at that top. What's happening is we've never had two parties dominate as much, this much before. So the share of the vote that the Conservatives and the Liberals can pick up compared to the rest of the parties, it could actually be a record. It could be a record. I think they're saying something like, I think between the two of them, you're looking at about 80+%. So that's pretty, or around 80%. That's pretty big. That's pretty big. So that could be really interesting. Definitely could be interesting. All right. Rory says Trump is going to war at 5 p.m. Really? Oh, boy. I hope that's not the case, but I know there's been tensions with Iran. I know there's been tensions. Oh, boy. Yeah, oil could have a big day if that were the case. I hope you're wrong, Rory, but yeah, who knows? Let's see. Wonder if volume 1.92K is actually lots of 100. That could be interesting too. Yeah, I'll look at that, Paul. As soon as the show's over, I'll take a gander at it. Roku says our ballot in Carleton, Ottawa had like 91 candidates on. Yeah, I've heard that. So that, of course, is that's the riding that Pierre is running in. And there is a crazy number of candidates. So they're actually saying that riding could take a bit of extra time to count because of these crazy number of candidates. But yeah, that's absolutely crazy. It's totally crazy. Paul says we are in a macro market with Trump noise. Yeah. Rory says can't join Blossom. I have desktop at the moment. Yeah, and that's one of the problems. That's one of the problems with it is that right now you have to sign up on the app with. Now there's one way around it. There is one way around it. If you have a Mac. If you have a Mac, you can basically download it as an app on the Mac, and that should let you get around it. But I think that's the only exception that I know. If you've got a Windows or maybe Linux or something, yeah, you're probably in trouble with that way. Did you invest in Blossom? I missed the second round because I had no cash. I've not invested. I've not invested. Yeah, I think when the second round came, I was in the same boat. I really didn't have a lot of liquid cash at that moment. Now I've had lots of opportunity. I've had opportunity to invest before they made the public investments because of being an ambassador. But yeah, no, I haven't. It's just money's tied. Money's tied up in a lot of different things at the moment. So, all right, Paul says the poll trackers take all polls and averages them like 338 polls. There is one polling company, Ecos, that polls very heavy liberal, with some polls saying 59% liberal. The owner, Frank Graves, hates Pierre Poilievre. Yeah, going back to the tracker here, or actually we're already here. This shows you all of the different polls. Now, these are not all of them, but these are all of the ones that have been updated. And as you can see, look at this. Like some of these polls, like here's Main Street. Main Street has 42% liberals, 41 conservative. So that one's, Main Street is looking really, really close. 44-39. I don't think there's any with the conservatives in head, but there was, I think, 1 point last week, and it might have been Main Street. Had the conservatives move ahead by 1 point, but then came back. So yeah, that's the thing. This here is like, this is a representation, and this is getting like, look at this. I mean, the liberals have retracted a bit. This is going to be, it's going to be interesting. Like right now, I think they're still predicting a majority. Well, it depends though, right? Because you got to look like this is the margin of error, this red in here. So, you could conceivably have liberals coming in here and the conservatives coming in here. That would be a conservative minority at that point. But it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward just to seeing how this all shakes out on Monday. So it could be very, very, very cool. Brian says, I can't see anything on my phone. I use a 17-inch laptop, but still cast it to a 48-inch Samsung QLED as a monitor. I can see. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. No, I'm the same way. I don't like to. I don't like to use my phone for most things. Most things, I'm here. I'm in the studio. I got I got like, well, I mean, a lot of monitor space in here. Um, and that to me is just that's fantastic. That's how I prefer. But I also like, a lot of the stuff I watch on YouTube as well. Stuff I watch outside of work stuff. Usually it's on the TV downstairs. So yeah, absolutely. Cowboy says, how do you get so many candidates in Carleton? Talk about interference. Who's paying for all the entry fees? I know. And I can't remember the exact reason that there were that many in there. I know I heard it and I thought it was interesting, but I'm like, I can't remember exactly what it was. All right. Rory says, an attempt to confuse voters in Pierre Poilievre's riding. No nefarious things are happening there. I don't think it's quite as simple. I thought there was something else going on there. What can I say? All right. Patricia says, I've tried the beta we site of Blossom on a PC. It works well. Nice, nice. Yeah, but no, I think what he was talking about, Patricia, was being able to take the invite code to actually sign up. But I mean, you could try signing up using the beta site. Maybe that will, I don't know if that works or not. It'd be hard to say, but hopefully the beta site's going to be fully operational soon. Like right now, there's still a few things that are not working in it. Oh, pull me back up here. Let's see here. Let's see. Paul says the people who started Blossom are very young with less life experience, so would be very wary about investing in Blossom. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Absolutely. And that's the thing. Like I always say, you got to look at when you're looking at Blossom. So, for example, like you take the portfolio that I have in there for the 0 to 100K. I mean, I update that manually. So you can update yourself manually. You don't have to give them access to your API if you don't want to. But also keep in mind, they have a lot of investors in there. Like there's a lot of hands in the pie. So, I have faith. I have faith in them. All right. Holy banana bread. Let's get some more coffee here. Okay. There's the Nightbot. Yeah, we're one away, Nightbot. We're one away. Moonlight says, might be opening a can of worms here. What do you think of options as an income stream? A lot of extra work, for one. I also think, it can be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. I don't think it's a good method of getting income for somebody who's new. Now, not to say you can't take advantage of options income. So, for example, when you purchase a covered call ETF, you're making money from options, and that's a much safer way because the management team that runs that ETF, they're the one who are writing the options for you. So, I think honestly, I think you probably should be investing for. I would say bare minimum, you want to be investing for a year and, before you even consider going into options. And even then, if you want to go into options, I would recommend that you, I know who I would pick up there's an options for dummies. And guys, when I say the dummies, I will always I always will recommend the Dummies line. They're some of the best books out there. Don't take the name personally. It has nothing to do with beginners. But they're really, really good. So there is an options book for dummies that will give you a whole bunch of the foundation. So yeah, I would recommend going through all of that before you even get into options. But for the most part, if you don't know what you're doing, or if you don't have an aptitude for it, you're probably going to lose money. You're probably going to lose money. That's one of the reasons that you know, I personally, I'll use covered call ETFs at this point. So I don't wanna get too deep into options, and and I haven't played with them a lot. I understand them, but they're risky. They are. Let's see. Paul says at least you broadcast in 1080p, so text is somewhat readable on the TV. I guess 4K would take too much internet bandwidth. I hate when some federal MP candidates will use 360. Yeah, I go with the highest that it'll allow me, at least for this. Now I think if I bypass StreamYard and I were to just do a straight up live stream straight out of YouTube, I might be able to get to 4K. I might be able to, but then I would lose all of the tools. I would also have a hard time being able to reply to comments and all of that fun stuff. But I would like to see StreamYard give me the ability to go 4K. Now, mind you, I do 4K on the videos. And I know even today I was watching, I watched one of my videos. Every so often I'll watch one of my videos on the TV down below. And I was looking at it, I was like, oh, great. There's a hair on my shoulder. That's all I can see. I'm looking at this hair. I'm like, it's like, a hair in 4K. But oh well. Anyway, it happens. What can you do? Rory says Mark Beavis is pretty educated in finance investing, though his son started Blossom. Oh yeah, no, I mean, both Mark and Brandon. I actually Paul just mentioned it. Yeah, they were both financial advisors, so I mean, they do know what they're doing. So it's not it like I said, I like the Beavises. They're not bad. Let's see, Mark, sorry. No charge to add your name to the ballot. You just need 100 signatures. All these people have the same 100 signatures. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. See, Larry, not a fan of the options. Not a fan. The dummy books were the original Chat GPT. Yes, absolutely. Options can be particularly dangerous. Do you have some favorite covered call ETFs? Yeah, of course. I just did I just did a video on bank ETF, and I do like that ETF. Now that was a sponsored video, but outside of the sponsored part, I still like that ETF. I think it's it's got a really, really good return on it, and it is in a really, well, I would say our banking and financial sector overall pretty darn resilient. So that is one of my, one of those ETFs that I certainly like. I also like when tech is doing better, like QQCL, and there's also, sorry, QQCC is the covered call. QQCL is the covered call with leverage version. So yeah, and there's tons. This is where you're in luck, Moonlight. There are tons of videos on this channel with different covered calls. Quite literally, if you just search covered call, you'll find a whole bunch of them. I will always recommend look at the ones that are closest to now, because information changes pretty quickly in the financial world. So always fun. Larry says, I call options lottos, lottery tickets. Yeah, absolutely. Brian, I can lose money on regular stock purchases. I don't want to enhance my losses trying options. Fair enough. All right, guys, we got from the Banana Bread Company, we got a $2 dividend. That makes the Banana Bread Company, well, it makes them our GOAT. So they are our fourth goat of the show, and that means we have a market close on Friday. So Nightbot, we don't need to hear from you anymore. Please leave us alone. Philly D says, I invest in cover called ETFs like, oh, there we go, QQCL, JEPQ, and ZWA. So yeah, and there's a lot of good ones out there. Another good one right now, and this is another evolved one, UTES. And one of the reasons I like that, and I pull that one out, is that it's a utilities. So it's a utilities, and it's also global. So it's global utilities. There's also like HUTL. There's another one. And there's, if you want leverage, HUTE. One of the things about utilities right now is they're one of those sectors that do really well through recession. So that's not a bad thing at all. To sort of see what's going on there. They will do better, so you're not going to have as much bleeding, or I guess I guess they call it erosion. You're not going to have as much erosion, so capital erosion of your capital in that situation. So, yeah, there's a lot of different ones, and I'm probably going to be doing more cover call ETFs. So, Moonlight says, I didn't realize bank was a cover call ETF. Yes, not just cover call, they also use a bit of leverage as well. Like I said, I just did a video on bank, like I think two or three videos ago. Check it out. I can give you the link. I think I can give you the link here. Yeah, here we go. Give me a second here. Let me grab it for you. Shareable link. I will drop that in here for you. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, I just did that as well. All right. Mario says, I own HUTL. Yeah. And HUTL, I do like HUTL as well. I've had them, I've had them in my portfolio for quite a bit. Let's see. Sorry, I missed your earlier videos on cover calls. It's okay. That's what I always say. Like, it's, like quite literally right now, let me find out. Let me give you a number. I have 391 videos on the channel. That's 391. So I suspect there's probably only a handful of you here who have seen every single one. A small handful. I've seen every single one because I've been there on them all. But yeah, so 391 videos, 337 live streams, and 92 shorts. Not as many shorts for sure. But yeah, no, there's a lot of content. So, but here's the thing, I will do, like, for example, I've got a deep dive coming out on Canoe on Friday. So Canoe EIT, one of my favorite funds. Now that's one of the most popular funds on this channel. Now, with Canoe, and just to give you an idea, the last time I did a deep dive on Canoe was back in December. Last year, I also did it in March. I normally do about 2 of those a year. The previous year, I did it in September and March. The previous year, that was my first year. I did it a lot. Well, technically, yeah. I did it in November, August, June, April, and January, but people loved it. I don't know why. But actually, it was funny. Probably the first breakout video on the channel was a Canoe video. So it's cool. It's cool. But anyway, that's coming out on Friday. Channel members do get to see it tomorrow. Channel members get to see everything basically about roughly 24 hours early. As soon as I'm finished the editing process, then they get a chance to watch it ahead of time. All right. What's the dividend on bank? And yeah, here we are. Roughly, around 16.9, something like that. It's a good dividend. It's a good dividend. I do like it. I mean, like I said, I like bank quite a bit. It is a fantastic one for sure. Let's see. Leverage cover call ETFs better than regular, or maybe the higher MER eats some of the leverage. Now, here's the thing. Let's go back to the whiteboard for a second. We'll go back to the white. Everybody knows how much I get excited over the whiteboard. All right, let's find some clear space. Um, so when you look, I'm just gonna do it this way here. All right. Think of this is just it's a graph, okay? So let's say that this here is your regular stock. So, or we'll just say an ETF. Um, we'll use, you know what? Let's just say it's a tech ETF. So like HXQ. We'll use that as an example. All right, so if you have it, this is going to be your total return up here, right? So this is all, and this one here, it has no dividends. It's all growth right in there. Now, if you do a covered call on it, what's going to happen is you're going to lose some of that growth. And the reason you're going to lose some of that growth is as it's growing, some of the options are going to hit strike prices, meaning you're going to have to sell it, meaning that you basically lose some of your potential. But then you're going to get, you're going to get your dividends in here as well. So, you're close. So if you take a look here, I'll just draw a dotted line. You're still doing better by having the HXQ in, and we're talking basically in a bull market. Now, mind you, if everything is falling, it gets a little bit different, but we'll talk about that here in a second. Now, if you have the leverage version, I'll just, I'll put it over here. It can get close to, and I'm going to actually put this a little higher because if you have the leverage version, you get a little bit closer because the blue part is going to be a little bit higher up here. I know I'm not changing the colors. And then you're going to have the covered call part. Now, if you reinvest, I'll add an extra bit. So if you reinvest all of your dividends, you're going to get you're not going to completely get to the original stock, so the HXQ, but you're going to get really darn close. And that's kind of just the way things work. Now, even with the leverage, it gets to the point. Now, this is in a strong bull market. Now, if you have a weaker bull market, these, this all of a sudden gets a little bit smaller. These get a little bit smaller too, but you'll get to a point that, yeah, you will make more money if you're reinvesting, you're using the leverage. Well, it depends. I mean, we're talking weak bull market, so things are still going up, so your leverage is sort of helping you in that case. Now, once things start going down, at that point, the leverage kind of falls off the chart pretty quickly, and making it your covered call becomes your better option because you're still getting all your covered calls, and this is falling at the same pace as what the HXQ over there is falling. So it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing that way. So it's really dependent on market. So covered calls, they will do well in markets that are simply more volatile. So the more jaggy the market is, the better you're going to do with covered calls. In fact, covered calls love markets like this, and they don't care if it's going up or if it's going down, because all of this volatility is really good for writing options, because you're able to make a lot more on your premiums, and that will help enhance part of that fund. Now, where covered calls fail is is if you're in a market going straight down or a market going straight up. And once again, that's because of strike prices being hit, being forced to sell, being forced to take losses. It's not great. It's not the best thing that can happen, but it's kind of that neat little thing with the way it works. Anyway. All right. Brian says, I have way too many EIT shares, but it's one of the safer stocks I own. Yeah. I mean, EIT is, and here's the thing though, and this is kind of one of those things, like when I talk about diversification, I don't like to hold more than 5% in any one company. But now EIT, because they are, they're not technically a company per se, They're an income trust. So they invest in a whole bunch of other companies. And not just companies. They also have, they do have a certain level of bonds to try to help create stability. They also have some fixed income in there. So they're that situation where I'm like, okay, I don't mind holding 10%. EIT can get as high as 10%, and I'm absolutely okay with it because of that. It's the same kind of idea with Brookfield Asset Management because they hold a bunch of companies. I let them break the 5% rule with me. So definitely cool. Let's see. MER is way better on ETFs than on mutual funds. Yes. So your MER is your management expense ratio. So when you look at, when you compare, now not all, some mutual funds do, like there are some mutual funds that have lower MERs than some ETFs, but on average, you're always better off with an ETF over a mutual fund. And Cowboy is talking about, BK. BK pays 13.738 cents with no charges. And on BK, that is a split core. So, and I'll show you guys. Let me just pull this up for you. Whoops, there we go. BK. There we go. Canadian Bank Core Class A share. So this is a split core a stock. And I'll pull this up here, and you can start to see, it's you're not going to get a lot of you typically won't get a lot of value. You'll get some, like it is moving up a little bit here, but you do get, in this case here, you're getting a pretty big yield, 15.552%. So it's not too shabby. It's not too shabby. Like BK, and another one here I'll show you that I like as well. ENS. This is the E split core as well. All right. And it does, you can sort of see it kind of does the same thing. Like you'll notice here, this big hump, this big jump up here, this is the beginning of the rate cuts. So all the way back here in late June. And, it's kind of doing what utilities do, but it's not bad. It's not a bad one. And you are getting some nice, you're getting a 11.313% on there as well. So in the olden days, if you wanted high income, you almost had to go with split core. But nowadays you don't have to as much. Now these ones like ENS, BK, they tend to be a lot more reliable than some of the other ones like a DFN or an FN where they end up cutting dividends on you right when you need them. It's like, no. But oh, Nightbot, you're supposed to go away. Nightbot, go away, Nightbot. All right. Moonlight says, have you heard of the new Berkshire ETF called Omaha? I have not. I have not yet, but interesting. I like the name. Of course, every time I hear the name Omaha, I think of Omaha Wild Kingdom. It's like, what happens? Moonlight says, how do I become a channel member? YouTube doesn't seem to show me an option to join like it does for other channels. Well, that's interesting. That is very, very interesting. Yeah, there should be like a little thing. I'm just wondering here. If you go to the video, if you go to any one of my videos, you should be able to see it pretty clearly. Like it should actually show up as a, well, let me see if I can, well, let's try something here. All right. Give me 1 second here. I just want to bring up YouTube for a second. I'm just going to Trump speaks live and signs executive orders. So there we go. Apparently the 5 o'clock thing is happening. All right. What I want to do here is I'm going to pick a channel. Let's go to 25 and invested. 25 and invested. So if I wanted to join this channel, I should just, with any of their videos, and I'm just going to pause it right down here. Let's see here. Why do I not see? I probably picked somebody who doesn't have an option. All right, let me try this one more time. Holy banana bread. Let's see here. Let's just pick somebody. I'm trying to think of somebody who might. Let's see. No, I don't think. I don't know. Let's try Kyle Hill. We'll see if he has it. Yes, here we are. So yeah, when you go to any video, and this should be the case on mine, you got this little join button down here. So when you click on the join, it should open up to join the channel. So gain access to membership perks, all of that. So that's what you should be looking for. Right next to the name on any video, you should have a join button. That's pretty much the easiest way to get in there. All right. Now, let's see here. Now, what I can do here, give me a second here. Give me a second here. I will. All right. All right. Let's see what happens. All right. All right. This is really, really funny. I was gonna just I was just like, as a joke, I'll gift a membership. It probably won't hit you because I have no control over who it hits, but oh boy, that's funny. That's absolutely that's actually really funny. Well, congratulations. That way there at the end of the month when the gift gets up, it should send you an email, and then you just have a matter of just clicking on that and setting it up. That's funny. That is very funny. Now you can come tomorrow night. You can come tomorrow night. This is awesome. All right. Sorry. Cowboy says, doesn't cover calls put a percentage of stock for sale? If so, what happens when they have to sell for less than the current price? Well, they have to sell. They have to give it up. Yeah, they will normally the fund, depending on the fund, a lot of them will say we'll write covered calls on up to 33%. Now keep in mind, and I still have this up. Good. Give me a second here. Let's go back to here we are. So keep in mind, if you have an ETF, it might have, let's just say you have an ETF with 4 shares in it. So what that would do is they would probably do about 33%. So they would probably do covered calls on a little bit of each of these of the individual stocks in here. So even though they're talking 33%, they might be writing, they might have options on 4 different stocks if they have 4 different stocks in there. So yeah, it just means that 33% of that fund. Now, mind you, when they say 33%, let's say for whatever reason, these stocks over here, they're just not that volatile, but this one is super volatile. They could conceivably do that, put all of that up, of that stock up for options, and then they're technically only writing up to 25% at that point. So yeah, they're writing options on the individual stocks within there, and there's usually a whole bunch of them. So it's not that they're writing a option on that ETF. They're writing an option on the stocks within the ETF, of course. Now, what happens is, and you were asking about this question here. So, for example, let's say I wanted to create an option. So I have a stock, and we'll say it's $30 right now. And I'm thinking that this stock is probably not going to hit. I'm just going to use this just for, we're using big numbers for the simple fact that it just makes it easier to understand. So I write an option. I sell an option saying that. So basically, I don't think the stock will get to $40 in, we'll say, 1 month. All right. So what I do is I basically say, hey, I will sell you, I will sell you and we'll say it's 100. We'll say we do an option. We bundle 100. I will sell you 100 shares of, and we're just going to call this BCO, Banana Co. I'll sell you 100 shares of Banana Co. at $40 in 1 month. That's my contract. I'll sell you 100 shares at $40 in 1 month. And you have that time in there. Simple as that. But they have to buy that from me. So let's say, for example, they're buying it for, we'll say $1. Let's just say they're buying it for $1 a share. So we'll say $100. So they're paying me $100. But in 1 month, if that share price is, let's say it was $50, well, then they get 100 shares at $400. At 100 shares at $40 instead of the $50 that they have. So basically, we're looking at, they're paying me $4,000 for $5,000 worth of shares at that point. And they paid $100 to do it. So they made $900. Now, what ends up happening is, let's say it doesn't. And this is what I'm hoping. This is because as an option writer, I'm hoping that it does not get there. Let's say it didn't get to 50. It only made it to 39. Well, okay. They have the right. Right? I can still sell it to them. I can say, okay, sure, I'll give you all of them for $40, in which case I make money. Hey, that's fantastic. Chances are they won't. They have the right to take it. They don't have the obligation. So they won't take it. If it was $40 exactly, they're not going to take it. In some cases, if it's like $41, they may not. Sometimes they won't. Sometimes they'll be like, it's just not worth it. But it really depends on the price and that. But that's how it works. So let's say, for example, let's say it was $41. If it was $41, well, they're making, guess what? They're getting $4,100 of stock for $4,000. But I've already gotten my $100 or my $100. I've already gotten it. So I've actually broken even in this case. So that is a situation where I'm still in good shape. But the more it gets above that strike price, the bigger loss I'm going to take. But if it goes below the strike price, it's fantastic. I make money no matter what. And that's the thing. So it's this amount that they're selling. So that $100, that's going straight into the dividends. So they're going to throw that into the dividends. Well, minus, of course, your management expense ratios. They're going to put that right into the dividends, pump up the dividend. So when you're looking, now this is when I talk about the loss of upside potential. If it went to 50 and they have to sell it and buy it back at 40, well, technically this company hasn't really lost money, right? Because they obviously bought it below 40. They had it at 30, right? So maybe they bought it at 30. So they've still made money because the share's going up. And they've also made their little premium. But when the share should have went up, so they bought it at 30, it went up to 50. When the share should have went up 20, well, because they had to sell it early, they only registered that 10. So they lost half of their growth. So if this was the share and it was supposed to go up that amount, well, guess what? They lost that right there. And that means the value is only going to be half of what, well, the increase in value is only going to be half of what it would have been. And that's what happens a lot of times in covered calls. Simple as that. You end up losing that little bit of upside potential. All right. Tim Smith says, riding HHIS to financial freedom, just past $600 a month. Nice. Yeah, they have fantastic dividends. And Wait until when tech really turns around. That's going to be interesting. Brian says, yeah, I remember when I only had 10% EIT. Like I said, way too many. Let's see, Cowboy, the ETF will turn around and rebuy the stock at the same price they just sold it. There was a join button. Yeah, that's the whole thing. All right, there we go. There we go. Awesome. All right, guys, if you got your last minute questions, get them in. Get them in. We're already going late. We're already going late, but that's fine. Oh, so good. So good. I do enjoy that. But anyway, that's kind of the whole thing. This is why I love this stuff. I love this whiteboard. I love this whiteboard big time. Tim Smith says, what does a join subscription get me? Okay, couple of things. So with the channel members, and I'm always looking to add more to it, but the first thing is they get to watch all the videos a day early. So for example, the deep dive that comes out on Friday, they'll be watching it tomorrow afternoon. Well, if they choose to. They don't have to watch it tomorrow afternoon, but they have that option. Tomorrow night, monthly, they get an exclusive live stream just for them. Now I do release their live streams for everybody else a year later. So it's almost like they get a 1 year preview of that live stream. But yeah, they get that monthly. In addition to that, they also get to choose the final video of the month. So you guys all get to choose. You guys all get to suggest videos. And then the channel members get to vote on them, and they determine which one wins. And then I make that video for them at the end of the month as well. I am hoping to create a Discord area on the Discord. I am hoping to create a small area that they can have just for the channel members as well. I think that would be kind of cool. So I'm always trying to add a little bit more for the channel members because, you guys are supporting the channel, and I highly, highly appreciate that. Rory says, no coffee, have to get your own. Yeah. What can I say? Let's see. Last time I paid for an early release was in Vegas on the 12th floor of the Circus. Oh, okay. Took me a second to understand what you just said, but yeah, you got to groan. You got to groan once I understood it. Holy banana bread. Holy banana bread for sure. Oh boy. All right. All right, guys. This has been another fantastic show. You guys are absolutely awesome. Of course, if you're a channel member, be sure to drop in tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll be doing our exclusive live stream. It is a free for all tomorrow night, so bring whatever you want, and we'll go from there. It could be fun. It could be a lot of fun. All right. And of course, bring your questions, all of that fun stuff. We will be back here on Friday, and we'll do this all over again. And let's hope we can have a green. Let's hope the rest of the week is green. We'll try. We'll try. All right, everybody. Have a fantastic rest of your day, rest of the week. I'll see you on Friday. I can't wait. Some of you I will see tomorrow. So until then, take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.